Hey everyone, welcome back to your weekly Monday date. You can count on me to not leave you on red every Monday. I'll be here, I promise, unless I state otherwise. But I will let you know in advance. And hey, anyone who is a member of the RTV Ultras tier on the channel, I'll also be here to deliver your member exclusive video for this month. This week, it will be on players who are misrepresented by their goal and assist output. Guys who are underachieving in a sense or are let down by their teammates. Should be a good one. If you want to join, feel free. Access to members only videos, emoji, and the community tab, as well as at least one members only video per month. Maybe we'll bump it up to 2, who knows. Merseyside misery for Liverpool this weekend. Well, just further misery in general for the Reds as they lost their 7th match of the season, and it was against their rivals Everton. What makes it even worse, this was the first time in 22 years that Everton had won a match at Anfield. That is insane. And it was Klopp's Liverpool to give that up to them. Who would have thought? And they got at it early, Everton did, with Richarlison scoring after just 3 minutes. I was a bit surprised to see that Calvert-Lewin was on the bench to start this match, but it all sort of made sense. One of the things that I've noticed is while Kabak seems to be a solid player in both a technical and positional sense, his lack of acceleration in those first few meters can be exploited. And that's exactly what James, who played a beautiful through ball, and Richarlison were able to do. Kabak caught flat-footed, clean finish from Richarlison. Of course, you can't speak of a Liverpool match without speaking of an injury of some sort, and as soon as Henderson went down, I texted my friend Russ. Shout out Russ. You've seen him on the channel before a few times. But anyways, Russ pointed out that with Henderson going out and Phillips coming on, that was the 18th variation of a center back pairing that Liverpool have had this season. Phillips and Kabak. That's insane. Any chance at building up consistency and a solid partnership has been tossed out the window time and time again due to this insane amount of injuries. Anyway, it's not as if Liverpool didn't have any chances in this 2-0 loss, as they certainly did, but Pickford stood strong when called upon. Michael Keane had a great performance, and through a bizarre penalty right at the end, they got a massive 2-0 win. Not really sure what Alexander-Arnold was supposed to do in that situation when he gave away the penalty. Definitely a weird one in my book, but at least it wasn't decisive, I guess. Let's pull some lights in here. West Ham versus Tottenham was a bit of a battle for European places, sort of. Tottenham absolutely had to win this one to keep in touching distance of Moyes and the Hammers, while the win for West Ham would do a lot for their European hopes. And man, they just continue to excel, don't they? West Ham continue to be one of the surprise packages of the season. They continue to perform well against opposition of any sort of standing. And Jesse Lingard's incredible start to life in London has continued. He's loving it. But first, Michail Antonio scored early against Tottenham as he tucked away his own rebound. A nice save from Lloris to stop that point-blank shot, but the defenders couldn't hop on the rebound fast enough. His first match in 2 weeks, Antonio, and he's looking sharp. He looked sharp, I should say. Right after the half, Lingard scored what was his 3rd goal in 4 appearances for West Ham right after the half again, as Spurs started slow again from the restart, which will have driven Mourinho insane. Nice little give and go between Lingard and Fornals, and Lingard lashed it home on his left. Now, Bale did not start, but he came on in the second half and looked like one of the best players on the pitch. Linking up with Lucas Moura for Spurs, only goal of the match. I wonder if we'll see more from him after these 2 solid performances from Bale. Unlucky for Spurs, who hit the woodwork twice, but lose 2-1. They actually played okay. They were a little bit unlucky. But what Mourinho said after the match about how, he basically put the blame on the players. He said that me and my team's coaching methods are second to none in the world. Which is basically saying that, if the results aren't there, it's not because of our coaching. Kind of a shitty take, in my opinion. Wolves continue to turn their Premier League form around as they got a 1-0 win over Leeds, taking their unbeaten run to 4 matches with 3 wins and a draw. Much better from them as they push toward the top 10 now. Chelsea were held frustratingly for them by Southampton. Southampton really defended well to limit the opportunities for Chelsea in a match that you will have been happy that you missed. Yes, you would have been happy to have missed it. But hey, there was some drama in the Chelsea camp, if that's what you're looking for. And if you want to call it drama, but Hudson-Odoi was subbed on at the half and then subbed off after 30 minutes. As Tuchel said, he was not happy with how things were going. Quote, "It was not the game plan. I was not happy with his attitude against the ball. He forgot the counter-pressing situation sometimes. We talked about how we expected his energy, work rate, and strife from the games. I trust him a lot. I think he's played every match, but today I was not happy. I had the feeling he could not help, and he did not accept the intensity that is needed. I took this decision. It's a hard decision today, but tomorrow it's forgotten. Hopefully for their sake it is indeed forgotten, as that's a big call from a new manager, but probably the right one in a sense, to show at the very least that he won't be messed with, and his standards are high. You drop below them and you'll get the hook. At least it sends that sort of message. It looked as if Leicester were going to storm to a trouncing of Villa on Sunday, as Villa were without their talisman Jack Grealish, and we all know how big of a blow losing him is to their attack. 2 goals in the matter of 4 minutes from Maddison and Barnes put the visiting Foxes 2-0 up on the other side of halftime. Villa pulled one back via Traore. They pushed for an equalizer and nearly got it at the death, but Leicester held on for the 2-1 win. The Bruno Fernandes dominance continues, or is it dependency? Either way, this man cannot be stopped for United, as he helped the Red Devils beat Newcastle 3-1. Decent win for them there, picking up where they left off against Real Sociedad. In Arsenal versus City, we saw Sterling score for his 4th match consecutively against Arsenal in the Premier League, and it came early and easy, way too easy. A header after just 2 minutes from a great Mahrez cross, but still, well placed or not. One of Holding or Pablo Mari need to be tracking that cross and ensuring they aren't beat in the air by Sterling. Arsenal improved as the match went on, and while City had a bit of a sloppy second half by their own standards, they still managed to get the win and the clean sheet. 1-0 City, and they retain their 10-point lead in England, 10 ahead of United and Leicester, while West Ham are ahead of Chelsea, Liverpool, Everton, Villa, Tottenham, and Arsenal. Not bad David Moyes, not many people saw that coming. The Derby della Madonnina, what a start to this one, as Lukaku, in a brief 10-second period, showed off 2 attributes that contribute to him emerging as one of the most complete strikers in Europe at the moment: his ridiculous pace and his delivery from wide areas. Lukaku dominated this match once again for Inter, though Inter's second goal was the counterattack of dreams, man. Hakimi using his pace, Eriksen with the vision and execution to release Perisic at the perfect moment down that left, and his ball inside was tucked away by Lautaro. Clean finishing from Lautaro. This is the player that he is capable of being, getting into the dangerous areas as he usually does, but actually finishing them off this time. That's what you want to see. And Lukaku, he grabbed the match by the scruff of the neck and absolutely exploited Romagnoli for the 3rd and final goal of his romp from Inter. 3-0, great running into that left channel there. And what a match from Inter, both in defense and attack. And the unity of the squad is worth noting. Like against Lazio, the way the bench empties to celebrate every goal. The focus from Conte, they're singularly focused, and you'd hope so with just one competition to worry about. But it looks like they're finally playing the kind of football that we had perhaps expected from a Conte team. And I mean, Conte got his selection right. Defenders are coming into form at the right time, such as Skriniar, a guy who looked like he was on his way out. A perfect mixture on the day. Fiorentina got a much needed win this weekend with a 3-0 victory over Spezia, who are fresh off of beating Milan last weekend, of course. Dusan Vlahovic with another goal and an assist. Great performance from him, and Castrovilli, who boasted the same numbers, 1 goal, 1 assist. Lazio had a great first half, winning 1-0 over Sampdoria, but Ranieri's boys gave them a scare in the second half, especially right at the death of this one, when they came close to equalizing. They were really pushing for it. Benevento and Roma played out a 0-0 draw, and after the first half between Napoli and Atalanta, it looked like we were heading in the same direction, but man, what a second half we were treated to. 6 goals, and 5 of them were scored by Atalanta players, except only 4 were in the correct goal for Atalanta. Just after Muriel had put Atalanta 3-1 up, a Robin Gosens' own goal made it a bit scary for Ladea, but later on, Romero reacted quickest from a near-post flick and made it 4-2. Even with the goals conceded and Gasparini getting a red card. That was the best part of the first half, really. It was a great match. But hey, Muriel looked excellent out there ahead of Atalanta's match against Real Madrid midweek. I'm very much looking forward to watching that one. Inter now have a 4-point lead over Milan, and with no other competitions to worry about, you'd think they are home and dry, but hey, still 15 matches to go, my friend. Roma, they occupy 3rd after their 0-0 with Benevento, as mentioned. Atalanta and Lazio move into 4th and 5th, respectively, and Juve plays today. They have 2 matches in hand, by the way, so we'll see what happens there. Atletico, they're in a bit of a rough patch form-wise. Aren't they? In La Liga, at least. Levante, a team who frustrates the top clubs on the regular, showed up at the Wanda and got a 2-0 win. They had 1 shot on target, and they scored 2 goals. baby. That's a finishing masterclass. Atletico, on the other hand, would have scored 3 or 4, could have scored 3 or 4. They hit the woodwork on one occasion. João Felix had a terrible return as he blew big, solid opportunities, arguably 2 solid opportunities to score, and ultimately cost his team a bit. Unfortunate way to come back from the injury. So yeah, Mario Hermoso own goal in the first half and a late goal from Jorge de Frutos gave Levante their goals, while Cardenas in the Levante goal was making some ludicrous saves at times. Man of the match performance. Atleti's second loss of the season, the 3rd time they've dropped points in their last 3 matches. Can't do that. Real Madrid played away to Real Valladolid, who it seems as though their relegation luck or avoiding luck may come to an end this season. Their luck in finishing also never showed up in this match, as the likes of Orellana and Yenko both had excellent opportunities to score against Real Madrid, and they blew it. Shout out Courtois though, as he put in another solid performance in goal for Real. Casemiro with the only goal of the match. Another no-show from Real Madrid's front line, but the midfield 3 of Casemiro, Modric, and Cruz, excellent. Valencia versus Celta Vigo, what an insane match this one was. Valencia, who have been struggling for the last season and a half, put in a solid performance in the second, and with Celta's Ruben Blanco getting sent off in the 64th, opened the floodgates of absolute pandemonium at the end of this match. Valencia smelled the blood, and they went for the jugular, with the winner finally coming in the 94th minute of added time. But they were finished there. Kevin Gamero, the Jimmy Conrad hero, scored his second for Valencia in the 98th minute for the 2-0 result. Crazy end to that one. Watch it if you can. Very entertaining. At least watch the last 15 minutes or so. Start at the 83rd minute if you want. Real Betis are really pushing to cement their place in the European spots in Spain, while their opponents, Getafe, from this weekend, feel like they're at the end of a cycle with their manager Jose Bordalás. From fighting in Europe to things simply not working for them at all. His approach not being effective with this group anymore, it feels like. After losing 1-0 to Real Betis, shout out William Carvalho for getting 2 yellows in 2 minutes at the end of the match. But this loss stretched Getafe's winless run to 6, with 4 losses consecutively, 5 losses and 1 draw in the last 6 matches. Poor from them. And they're just 3 points above the drop now. I think they'll survive, but it's quite the fall from where they were the last couple of seasons. And Barcelona, they played against Cadiz. We all know the reputation Cadiz has built for themselves in La Liga this season, and they have struck again somewhat. After Lionel Messi converted another penalty, Barcelona were so close to seeing out a routine win against Cadiz before Clement Lenglet's moment of madness gave Alex Fernandez a chance from the spot. Alex equalized to ensure it was odds even in this one. Frustrating stuff from Barcelona, which, as Piqué pointed out, it must hurt even more when considering Atletico finally dropped points this weekend. Or dropped points once again, this time with a loss. And Real Sociedad got a big victory over Deportivo Alaves, in which Alexander Isak continues to excel. He got a hat trick, scoring all 3 of Real Sociedad's goals in a big win, something they needed after that big loss to Man United on Thursday. And so Atleti's lead is now just 3 points. Still a match in hand, I have to note. Just play the damn match so I can stop mentioning it. And Barcelona also match in hand, but they're currently 5 points off of second. Sevilla only played today, by the way. Well. What a fun weekend in Germany. I guess what makes it fun is the Frankfurt result, as we had one of the most informed teams in Eintracht Frankfurt hosting the defending champions who have dominated year on year Bayern Munich, or at least dominated the Bundesliga final placements. What a surge this has been and continues to be for Eintracht Frankfurt, who went 2-0 up against Bayern after just 31 minutes. And while Lewandowski, of course, pulled one back, how can he resist? 25th of the season, by the way, with 12 matches remaining. But anyways, Frankfurt was able to hang on. Excellent defending from them as they had to weather the Bayern storm, but managed to do so. A massive 2-1 win for Eintracht Frankfurt. You love to see that in the spirit of competition. For their part, Borussia Dortmund had a chance to take on Schalke following their strong performance away to Sevilla midweek. The Dortmund attack picked up from where it had left off, storming to a 4-0 defeat of the relegation-bound Schalke. Schalke had their moments in the second half where they were really an improved side from the one that leaked 2 right before the half, but their finishing is horrid on the night. Really bad. Anyways, Jadon Sancho was seemingly back to his best or something close to it as he scored the opener and then played setup man to Haaland right after that. On the other side of the half, Roy set up Guerrero for 3-0, then Bellingham and Haaland linked up for 4-0, 2 more goals for Haaland. Some lovely goals in there. Haaland marching up those goal scoring standings. He has Andre Silva in his sights. Borussia Mönchengladbach are continuing their slump in the Bundesliga, and I wonder how long it will continue, with the news that Marco Rose is leaving for Dortmund, as you know, at the end of the season. I wonder how committed the players are to him, knowing he isn't committed to the club past the end of the season. It sort of makes you wonder, though the slump domestically is nothing new from them, so maybe I'm reading into it too much. They lost 2-1 at home against another relegation fighting side in Mainz. Some decent results for Mainz lately. Maybe they can make a push to survive. Union Berlin got their first win in 5 matches now, this coming up against Freiburg, who have been no slouches themselves as of late. Crazy to think that despite going 5 matches without a win, 5, Union are still within touching distance of Leverkusen and Dortmund in the standings, given that besides the top 4, nobody has had really consistent form in Germany. In fact, speaking of Bayer Leverkusen, they went up against Augsburg, a team who they have an impeccable record against in recent times. 5 wins and a draw from their last 6 Bundesliga meetings before this match, but a goal from Niederlechner just 5 minutes in put them on the back foot immediately, and they didn't get one back until 89 minutes later as Tapsoba scored in the 94th to rescue a point for Leverkusen and keep them a point ahead of Dortmund. Sorry, I keep on referring to the table, but as always, I'll show you it when we're done with all of the scores. As we keep on pushing here on the weekend recap, Wolfsburg and Frankfurt are the 2 hottest teams in Germany at the moment. And just as Frankfurt delivered, so did Wolfsburg as they beat Arminia Bielefeld 3-0 away. Bielefeld hot off of that 3-3 thriller with Bayern Munich. You see, Bayern are there for the taking, man. They do slip up, and maybe, just maybe, the rest of the league will step up. Maybe it's going to be Wolfsburg. Can you imagine if they were the saviors to end the streak of Bayern Munich's? Sorry to say saviors, as if Bayern are evil or something, but we're all just begging for a new winner. You know? We're begging for it. We want to see it in France. We want to see it in Italy. We want to see it in Germany. Switch it up. Switch it up. Keep it fresh. Renato Steffen scored his 4th and 5th goals of this campaign. Weghorst getting involved again via an assist. Oliver Glasner continues to excel as Wolfsburg are unbeaten in 8 matches with 16 points from their last 6 matches. That kind of run of form equaled by who? Frankfurt. You know this. And you know that Marcel Sabitzer is my boy, and he scored one of my favorite goals of the weekend against Hertha Berlin. Wow. No touch off of the bar. No touch off of the bar, but the distance from goal, the swerve on the strike, they were simply outstanding. 25, 30 yards from goal, massive goal. It was as nice as Nagelsmann's coat choice on the day, because we all know that Nagelsmann doesn't always choose the best coat to wear. But coat talk aside, and long bombs aside from Marcel Sabitzer, Leipzig got what was in the end a comfortable victory, with Orban and Mukiele getting in on the fun for a 3-0 victory. And thanks to that win, and thanks to Frankfurt and Bielefeld taking points off of Bayern this week, Bayern's lead has been cut down to just 2 points, with 12 matches remaining in the Bundesliga. Wolfsburg and Frankfurt are just 7 points behind them as well, which is nice to see, and Leipzig and Bayern are yet to play against each other for their 2nd match of the season. That match is currently scheduled, it can change of course, but is currently scheduled for April 3rd. A quick run through of France. I'm running long here, so apologies to France. We'll go more in depth next time. But just so we're all on the same page, just so we know what's going on in France, because this is important. Lille got a massive 4-1 victory to ensure they don't become another statistic of Lorient, who have been taking points off the big teams. Olympique Lyon won 3-2 on Friday against Stade Brestois, and wouldn't you know it, the hottest team in the land, AS Monaco, daddied up on Pochettino's PSG in Paris and won 2-0. They could have had more as well, despite having just 3 shots on target. Masterclass. Man, what a match though. PSG struggled to generate anything meaningful, and they paid for it. So what does that do for the standings? PSG have dropped to 3rd, while Lille are in 1st with 58 points, 4 ahead of PSG and ahead of Lyon. Monaco is catching up to the pack as well. What a race we have in France right now. No? 6 points separating 1st from 4th with 12 matches to go. This is what we want to see. This we like. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me once again. We'll have some fun this week with the watch-alongs and that members-only video, as well as another video for you guys coming out on Thursday and on Friday. My name is Adrian, this is Rabona TV, and take care of yourself. Ciao!